All right, Shalom. First and foremost, want to give all praises to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Kakwadash. Double honor to the elders and apostles, great millstone, taught me this truth. And shalom to the hopeful elect. Slaki, let me check my audio real quick. Hello. All right, that's better. Kind. And briefly in this lesson, or really just more of a spiritual commentary, or spiritual analysis, so to speak, of some news that just took place. All right. Dealing with the Senate turning down a bill, right, known as the PACT Act, right? And essentially this act would have provided a lot of needed benefits, and assistance to veterans, all right, in the in the United States military. All right. And it's controversial because basically they're denying all these veterans, help that they need, you know, but ultimately looking at it through a spiritual lens, looking at it through the scriptures, all right, we can determine that, all this is doing is increasing tension, all right, between American citizens, all right, and it's turning up a notch, right? And we know where this is headed. This is headed towards the fulfillment of prophecy, first and foremost. All right. And the prophecy that came to mind was Isaiah, the 19th chapter. All right. So I'll go ahead and start off with that. This is Isaiah 19:1. It says, the burden of Egypt. All right. And Egypt, you know, in code, all right, is speaking about America, Babylon the Great, spiritual Sodom, Egypt, that's mentioned, in Revelations, the 11th chapter. All right. Proof of that is, the obelisk, in DC. All right. The pyramid on the back of your dollar. All right. Amongst, many other Egyptian, tokens. All right. And customs that are kept in this place. This is spiritual Sodom and Egypt, like the scriptures say. All right. Isaiah 19:1. It says, the burden of Egypt, behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud, right, and shall come into Egypt, right? And that's the end game, all right? That's that swift cloud that is speaking of, all right, is a so-called UFO, all right? And so-called UFOs, all right, in the scriptures are, sometimes called clouds, all right, are sometimes called chariots. We know that they're talking about the chariots of heaven, all right? And the chariots of heaven are really, the Air Force of the nation of Israel. That's one way to look at it. All right, but let me keep going. It says, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it, right? Because when these chariots, all right, when our Lord, Yahweh Shai, and the Holy Host finally, all right, reveal themselves, all right, when they allow themselves to be seen, all right, people are going to completely lose their minds, all right? People are going to completely, bug out, all right, in that day, But this is the point in verse 2. This is why I wanted to do this video. It says, and I will set Egyptian against the Egyptian, and they shall fight everyone against his brother and everyone against his neighbor, city against city and kingdom against kingdom, right? So we see right now, all right, the scriptures talk about prophecies, prophecies, some prophecies happen over, periods of time. All right, all the prophecies aren't always, instantaneous. There is a moment in time where it becomes, abundantly clear that a particular prophecy is happening. All right, but there's a certain buildup, that takes place. All right, and we're witnessing the buildup happen right now. All right, in Babylon the Great. American citizens, are beginning to realize, that everything they've ever been told, all right, by the government is a lie. all right, and should be questioned, all right. And nobody better, you know, nobody better, to fulfill that than, all right, Sleepy Joe Biden. All right, Sleepy Joe Biden is a token. He's a sign, all right, that this place is swirling the drain. All right, he's a sign that the powers to be really, they're really mocking, all right, you know American citizens, all right, because it's a joke. It's a sick joke that they even have this guy in office. And what it's starting to do is it's starting to piss off a lot of these Edomites. All right. So we're about to start seeing Egyptian versus Egyptian, like the scriptures say. So in this video, I'm going to play this 8-minute clip of this speech that this guy gives, because, a lot of precepts came to mind. But before I do that, I'm gonna get some background info on what exactly he's talking about. All right. It says the PACT Act of 2021, honoring the PACT Act of 2021. All right. It says the honoring our promise to address Comprehensive Toxics Act of 2021, known as the Honoring Our PACT Act of 2021, is a bill in the United States Congress intended to address health care and other matters related to veterans who were exposed to toxic substances during military service. All right. Background. It says burn pits were used as waste disposal by methods, or were a waste disposal method by the United States Armed Forces during the Gulf War, Kosovo War, the War of Afghanistan, and the Iraq War, but have since been terminated due to the toxic fumes that posed health risk to nearby soldiers. Currently, the Department of Veteran Affairs requires veterans to prove that their illness is directly related to burn pits. All right. And right there, right off the bat, is an indicator, all right, of, the wickedness, all right, and the injustice of Babylon the Great. Okay. That's just now starting to come to light. All right. And the way that they treat veterans is a indicator, you know, if you, if you're fighting, if you're a soldier, and you're making your body a living sacrifice. All right, why is it so damn hard to get assistance? All right, if you're ill, and again, this guy John Stewart, he kind of goes in his speech, talking about this, but all this information, is just bringing to light, all right, what we already know, all right, in the truth, that Babylon the Great is the most unjust, all right, wicked, abominable kingdom ever to be erected on the planet Earth. All right. So let me keep going. But matter of fact, let me grab a quick precept. Let me see if I can find it. Let's see if I can find it. This is Luke 8:17. It says, "For nothing is secret that shall not be made manifest, neither anything hid that shall not be known and come abroad." Right? And it's becoming manifest, it's becoming clear, because that's what that word means. It's becoming clear, all right, the type of, you know, you know, energy, all right, it's becoming clear what Babylon the Great is all about. All right, what Babylon the Great, really represents. And what it represents is everything wrong. All right, everything wrong, okay, with the world essentially. Corruption, you know, um, oppression, you know, um, destruction, corporate, extreme corporate capitalism, all the things that are wrong with the earth, all the things that are plaguing the earth. All right, it's becoming clear. All right, it's coming abroad to all the nations of the earth that this place is the root of the problem. All right. And really, if you go even deeper, the root of the problem is the individuals that are in power, and the individuals that are in power, okay, are of the nation of Esau, Edom. All right, the so-called white man. He is the one calling the shots. He is the one pulling the strings. He is the one, writing the checks. You know, he's the one. You know. So let me go back to this. It says from 2007 to 2020, the VA, which is the Veterans Association, denied 78% of disability claims by veterans that were alleged to have been caused by these burn pits. All right, so almost 80%. So almost 8 out of every 10 veteran, all right, that came in with the illness or sickness, or a complaint, related to these burn pits, 8 out of 10 of those people were denied. All right, 8 out of 10 people were denied. Okay, which is why you shouldn't join the military in the first place. This place is not honorable. This place doesn't give a damn that you served in the military. All right, this place doesn't give a damn about you. And a lot of these wars were fought on the behalf of, corporate interest. They had nothing to do with. They don't give a damn about the soldiers. All right, this is all about the control of resources. About power. All right. It says the Honoring Our PACT Act would remove the requirement that veterans prove that burn pits caused their illness and retroactively pay veterans who did not receive care for their illness after claiming disability caused by burn pits. The Congressional Budget Office estimated the cost of the act would be $300 billion from 2022 to 2032. So basically $30 billion a year, which is absolutely nothing considering the amount of the amount of money, all right, that they print into existence for other matters. All right, so this is interesting because this is a clear example that the people that run America, all right, they don't give a rat's ass. They don't give a shit about you people. All right, they don't give a damn about you people. And this is why tension is rising. This is why tensions are going to continue to rise. All right. So, and this guy, Jon Stewart, this is the guy that's speaking in the video. And it's crazy because he's a comedian. All right. He's a comedian. It says Jon Stewart is an American comedian, writer, producer, director, political commentator, actor. Right. So he may be acting, but if he's acting on this, he's doing a hell of a job. And whether he's acting or not really doesn't make a difference, because this is the sentiment that a lot of these, American citizens have about their government. All right. And this is why I want to go into this video. But without further ado, let me go ahead and play it.
Ain't this a bitch? Yeah. Ain't this a bitch? America's heroes who fought in our wars, outside sweating their asses off, with oxygen, battling all kinds of ailments, while these motherfuckers sit in the air conditioning, walled off from any of it. They don't have to hear it. They don't have to see it. They don't have to understand that these are human beings. Do you get it yet? Do we see that these aren't heroes? These are men and women, mothers and fathers, sisters and brothers, that we just let stand outside in the heat when they can't breathe. I'm going to read you something. This is beautiful. I'm going to read you something beautiful. You know what? I said a curse word, and I'm sorry about that. That was my fault. Let me say something beautiful. It's a tweet from Senator Rick Scott of Florida from yesterday. It's beautiful. And I'm sorry about the cursing, and let me say something beautiful to make it up to you. I was honored to join the USO today and make care packages for our brave military members in gratitude of their sacrifice and service to our nation. And there's a beautiful picture. I wish you could see it. He's standing with a little package. Did you get the package? I think it has M&Ms in it and some cookies and some moist towelettes. I don't even know. Honestly, I don't even know what to say. I've been coming down here 10, 15 years. I'm used to the hypocrisy. Christina Keene will tell you from VFW. She sat in office with Mitch McConnell and a war veteran from Kentucky, and he looked that man in the eyes and he said, we'll get it done. And he lied to him. Because Mitch McConnell yesterday flipped. I'm used to the lies. I'm used to the hypocrisy. Senator Pat Toomey won't take a meeting with the veterans groups.
So, again, this is just bringing to light the true nature of the power to be. All right. And it's beautiful to see, this coming to light, but it's beautiful to see. But again, all right, these guys voted down a bill that would essentially cost about $30 billion a year to help out veterans. And they won't even meet the damn veterans, man. They won't even allow them the opportunity to have a conversation, a 5-minute conversation before they do it.
Sends out his chief of staff. I'm used to the cowardice. Been here a long time. Senate's where accountability goes to die. These people don't care. They're never losing their jobs. They're never losing their health care. Pat Toomey didn't lose his job. He's walking away. God knows what kind of pot of gold he's stepping into to lobby this government to shit on more people. I'm used to all of it, but I am not used to the cruelty. They passed it. June 16th, they passed the PACT Act. 84-14. You don't even see those scores in the Senate anymore. They passed it. Every one of these individuals that has been fighting for years, standing on the shoulders of Vietnam veterans who have been fighting for years, standing on the shoulders of Persian Gulf War veterans fighting for years, Desert Storm veterans, to just get the health care and benefits that they earned from their service. And I don't care if they were fighting for our freedom. I don't care if they were fighting for the flag. I don't care if they were fighting because they wanted to get out of a drug treatment center or it was jail or the army. I don't give a shit. They lived up to their oath. And yesterday, they spit on it in abject cruelty. These people thought they could finally breathe. You think their struggles end because the PACT Act passes? All it means is they don't have to decide between their cancer drugs and their house. Their struggle continues. This bill does a lot more than just give us health care. Gives them health care, gives them benefits, lets them live. Keeps veterans from going homeless, keeps veterans from becoming addicts, keeps veterans from committing suicide.
And I don't know if you could hear this guy speaking in the back. He's in a wheelchair, this homeless guy. And he's talking about what this act would have did. He said keeps veterans from going homeless, keeps veterans from becoming addicts, keeps veterans from committing suicide. Right? And, ultimately, this is a lesson, because this is what happens when you make a covenant with death. All right, when you make a covenant with Esau Edom. All right, he is the most dishonorable, creature to ever grace the planet Earth. All right, and he doesn't give a damn about his own people either. And that's what these Edomites are starting to realize, is that their own people ain't shit. you know. And let me grab a quick precept, man. So I'm not just on here just talking, man. Let me get Isaiah. All right. This is Isaiah 10:1. It says, "Woe to them that decree unrighteous decrees and write grievousness which they have prescribed, to turn aside the needy from judgment, and to take away the right from the poor of my people." Right? Because this is talking to Israel first and foremost. All right. All the scriptures are talking to Israel for the most part, unless they're, judgments of other nations, which are in the scriptures as well. All right. But this scripture, spiritually, fits. It says, "And to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless." All right. But the point is in verse 1. "Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees." All right. And this really is an unrighteous decree it's pretty sick. Esau is a sick bastard. All right, let me click on that word grievousness. It says I'm maul. It says toil, trouble, labor, wearing effort, worry, whether body or mind. All right, and that's what this is going to cause. It's going to cause, it's really just going to piss off a lot of these Edomites even more. All right, a lot of these, America, make America great again. All right, gun toting, Second Amendment believing Edomites. All these different things that are happening and that have been happening over the last few years, all right, are going to lead to prophecy being fulfilled. All right, sedition. All right, men not regarding, their kings or princes. Let me get that real quick. Let me get that. This is Second Ezra's 15 and 16. It says, "For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes," right? Which is today's time. All right, senators, governors, mayors, okay, politicians. It says, "They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power." Right? So eventually, the people of America are going to realize that they're just going to have to say, fuck it. All right. And that's coming. That's a part of prophecy. Eventually, these people are just going to lose it, and they're going to say, fuck it. Fuck the government. We're going to do what we feel like we need to do.
Committing suicide. Senator Toomey's not going to hear that because he won't sit down with this man. Because he is a fucking coward. You hear me? A coward. And like I say, I'm used to it. But this type of cruelty on those that we say we hold up as our most valued Americans, then what are we? Pat Toomey stood up there, Patriot Pat Toomey, excuse me, I'm sorry. I want to give him his propers. I want to make sure that I give him his propers. Patriot Pat Toomey stood on the floor and said, this is a slush fund. They're going to use $400 billion to spend on whatever they want. That's nonsense. I call bullshit. This isn't a slush fund. You know what's a slush fund?
Just for edification, let me look up the meaning of that term slush fund. Just for edification. Because I've never heard that term actually. A slush fund is a fund or account that is not properly accounted, such as money used for corrupt or illegal purposes, especially in the political sphere. Such funds may be kept hidden and maintained separately from money that is used for legitimate purposes. Slush funds may be employed by government or corporate officials in efforts to pay influential people discreetly in return for preferential treatment, advanced information, and other services. Right? So basically, it's just going into, that term is going into, all right, bribery, you know, corruption, all right, which runs rampant, within, this particular political system that Esau has set up, all right, which is so-called democracy, all right, which is really, it's really, fascism, all right, but it's presented as a democracy, you know, and yeah, yeah. Oh man, these Edomites finna lose it, bro.
The OCO, the Overseas Contingency Operations Fund, $60 billion, $70 billion every year on top of $500 billion, $600 billion, $700 billion of a defense budget. That's a slush fund, unaccountable, no guardrails. Did Pat Toomey stand up and say, this is irresponsible, the guardrails? No, not one of them did. They vote for it year after year after year. You don't support the troops, you support the war machine. That's all you care about. Boy, they haven't met a war they won't sign up for, and they haven't met a veteran they won't screw over. What the fuck are we? And now they're gonna go.
It's barbaric. That's what somebody said in the background. It's barbaric. All right. And again, man, everything is coming to light. All right, everything's coming to light. The true nature of Esau Edom is being exposed, and this really is some inhumane shit when you think about it. It is fucked up. It is fucked up. But guess what? The nation of Israel, all right, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, we have dealt with this and far worse, all right, by the hands of Esau Edom. And they're just now getting a whiff, all right, of the true nature.
Go away. Pat Toomey says, I've got veterans groups behind me. I call bullshit. These are the veterans groups. VFW, American Legion, IAVA, Wounded Warriors, DAV, AMVETS. They're all here. This is the veterans community, Senator. They don't stand behind you. In fact, you won't let them stand in front of you. Cowards, all of them. Cowards, all of them. Now they say, well, this will get done. Maybe in the after we get back from our summer recess, maybe during the lame duck, because they're on Senate time. Do you understand? You live around here. Senate time is ridiculous. These motherfuckers live to 200. They're tortoises. They live forever, and they never lose their jobs, and they never lose their benefits, and they never lose all those things. Well, if they're not on Senate time, they're on human time, cancer time. Don't you have families? Don't you have people who are deciding how to live their last moments? I know some of them. They've been down here advocating with us. They spent their remaining time advocating so that other soldiers didn't have to face the indignities and the depravity and the desperation that they faced. And none of them will hear it. And none of them care. Except to tweet. Boy, they'll tweet it. Can't wait to see what they come up with on Veterans Day, on Memorial Day. Well, this is the reality of it. I honestly don't even know what to say anymore, but we need your help because we're not leaving. These people cannot go away. I don't know if you know this. Obviously I'm not a military expert. I didn't serve in the military, but from what I understand, you're not allowed to just leave your post when the mission isn't completed. Apparently you take an oath. You swear an oath, and you can't leave. These folks can leave because they're on Senate time. Go ahead. Go home. Spend time with your families because these people can't do it anymore. So they can't leave until this gets done. Because these people will not give up. They will not give in, and they will not relent. This is an embarrassment to the Senate, to the country, to the founders, and all that they profess to hold dear. this is America first, then America is fucked.
Oh man, America's fucked. Can't say it any better. You know, but that's pretty much all I wanted to get on that.